Hello everyone, this is As Mohammad Khan and I welcome you in today's segment student. Today we are starting a new chapter, chapter 5, and it is related to the fundamental unit of life. Yes, about this chapter you have read in your 8th class student. And what is the fundamental or the basic functional unit of our life? Can you tell me? Yes, you are right, it is cell. Cell is the basic fundamental unit of our life, and we can say it the functional unit because all the basic functions are performed inside the cell. There are the different type of cell are found in our body, like the nerve cell, muscle cell, blood cells, bone cells. There are the different cells and all the cells have the different structure. Why do we say the cell the fundamental unit of life? Because if we speak about a building, then the building is prepared with the help of its room, and rooms are prepared with the help of its walls, and walls are prepared with the help of brick student. So here the cell work as the brick of the multicellular organisms, because cell makes tissue and tissue make organ and organ makes parts of body and parts of body make the whole body. That's why we can say that the cell is the fundamental unit of life. This important structure we can't observe with the help of our naked eye or unaided eye. We can observe it only with the help of magnifying glass or microscope student. And this important structure was discovered by the great scientist Robert Hooke when he was doing study on a bark. Then in that bark he discovered these little room like structure, and what name he gave to them? He gave name cellula. Cellula is a Latin word that means little room or little cabins. And after the cellula, the word that is derived here, it is cell. So that cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. But the living cell was discovered by another scientist who is known as Antoni Leeuwenhoek. Antoni Leeuwenhoek discovered the living cell with the help of his study that he was doing on the protozoas and bacteria. So with the help of his study, he discovered the living cell in 1674. Means the dead cell were discovered by the Robert Hooke and the living cells were discovered by Antoni Leeuwenhoek. There is another scientist student who discovered the protoplasm. So the colorless material that is found in the form of cytoplasm, nucleus and organelles in the living cell student, that is known as protoplasm. All the metabolic activities takes place inside the protoplasm, and this important structure was discovered by the Purkinje student, Purkinje. And with the help of the study of the Purkinje, there are the two scientists, Schleiden, Matthias Schleiden and Theodor Schwann, gave the cell theory student. They gave the cell theory. Schleiden was a botanist, means he studied about the plant cells, and Schwann was a zoologist and he studied about the animal cells. And with the help of their study, there is one theory was given. That theory is known as cell theory. According to the cell theory student, all the living organisms are made up of cell, and we can say that all the living organisms are comprised by the cell. But in this there is one exception student, that living organism does not have cell, and what we call it virus. Virus does not have the cell, but other than virus, all the organisms have the cell. They have the cell, and all the metabolic activities takes place inside their cells. Only one living organism does not have cell, and what we call it is virus. And in nowadays it is famous, student, because it is spreading one disease, and that disease is known as corona. So it does not have. So first cell theory is all living organisms are composed of cell, and second, each cell has a mass of protoplasm, means it comprises the protoplasm, means the living organisms have the living organism or the living cell have the protoplasm, and all the metabolic activity takes place inside the protoplasm. So it is about the cell theory, student. Now according to the number of the cell, we can categorize the cell into two types. Cellular organisms can be categorized into two types. First is unicellular organisms. Second is multicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms have only the single cell, and in this all the protozoas come in this category. With this, there is one algae also come in this, that is known as Chlamydomonas. So these living organisms come in the category of unicellular because they have single cell in their body, and all the basic functions are performed by the single cell. But another type is known as multicellular, and multicellular organisms have more than one cell, and all the basic functions are performed by those cells. And the examples of the multicellular are plants and animals. Now we talk about the size of the cell. Cell have very small size, student, and we can't observe it with the help of our naked eye. We can observe it only with the help of microscope or magnifying glass. And the size of the cell is measured with the help of one unit, student, and that unit is known as micrometer. Micrometer. 1 micrometer is equal to 1 10 power minus 6 10 power minus 6 meter. 10 power minus 6 meter, student, means 1 upon 10 power 6 meter. So with the help of micrometer, we can measure the size of the cell. So it is about the cell and the cell theory. Now you will try to do this concept in your notebook. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day.